Hey everyone, I'm back with another manga review. Today I'll be reviewing the Kazumi Magica The Innocent Malice manga series. This is part 2 of my trilogy of Madoka spin-off manga reviews. This series centers on Kazumi, a magical girl with amnesia. Upon waking up from a suitcase, she finds out she has no memory of who she is or how she got there. On top of that, she's caught in the middle of a bomb scare and soon gets attacked by a witch. Luckily for her, she gets helped by two girls, Karu and Yumika, who claim to have been her friends and are all part of the same magical girl group, the Pleiades. I probably mispronounced that because the word itself is very hard to pronounce, but it's apparently named after a star constellation. Including Kazumi and her two friends, the Pleiades are a group of seven magical girls, including members such as Satomi, Mirai, Saki, and Nico. They at first appear to be a group of happy friends, but there's a lot going behind the scenes. Kazumi Magica is the opposite of Oriko Magica in many ways. It has a fantastic story, amazing artwork, and interesting characters. Dear God, is it much better than Oriko? I cannot stress that enough. And the villains are a lot more relatable and synthetic than Oriko and Kirika ever were. The story is told like one big mystery thriller. We slowly get more details about Kazumi's past and the reason behind her amnesia. We also learn that the Pleiades are very morally ambiguous. They're not as nice as they appear to be, and they do some questionable actions. I will not consider them evil, but the actions they do take are definitely not the best. The story handles plot twists really well, and each one puts a new perspective on the characters. With so much lying and deception going on, it makes you wonder who can you really trust. Kazumi is the most unambiguously good character by far, wanting to save everyone no matter the circumstance. However, this can also be a flaw, as she sometimes considers someone to be a good person just because there's something about them that she likes. This results in her being put in dangerous situations that almost get her killed. We learn the backstories of each of the Pleiades and learn why they take the actions that they do. Each one of the members has a tragic backstory. For example, Yumika had her manuscript plagiarized by her editor, Mirai had a lonely childhood, and Saki was in a car crash that killed her sister. The manga doesn't simply use tragic backstories to make readers sympathize with the characters. It's how the characters react to their tragedy and move on from that experience that makes readers connect to these characters. Besides from the amazing story and characters, the art definitely deserves some praise. Takeshi Tensugi did an amazing job drawing all these characters, and the artwork looks simply stunning. Every girl has a distinctive character design in and outside their magical forms. I love the way it's drawn, and honestly, I believe Takeshi is the best of the Madoka artists. Kazumi Magica simply has my favorite art style of any of the spin-offs, and it's even better than the regular Madoka series. That's how I feel. I know it's a very controversial opinion to have, but I simply feel that Kazumi has the best art. With that said, I have to admit that the paneling during the fight scenes, it's not the best. It's very hard to tell what's going on during certain fight scenes, and it does take away from the action because, like I said, you don't really know what's going on. You really don't know what's going on, so it takes away from the tension you should have when these characters are fighting life and death battles. I also want to address this really dumb complaint I've been seeing some people say about this series, just about the fan service. I've seen people say that there's too much fan service and they had to drop it after the first volume because they couldn't take it. And I honestly don't know where they're getting this from. Only the first chapter has what you would consider fan service, with Kazumi being naked upon waking up. And honestly, there's a reason why she's naked, but that's a spoiler. I mean, really, how can you say that a series has so much fan service when literally only the first few pages has any fan service of any kind? I feel like it's very disingenuous to badmouth and drop the entire series just because you can't handle a little nudity. Like I said, it was only in the first chapter, and only in the first few pages at that. It's one thing if you don't like nudity, but please don't over-exaggerate and try to make it seem like this manga is some raunchy erotica story when it's anything but that. This is not the 1950s. With that said, I believe that's everything I need to say about the Kazumi Magica manga series. Since this is a story that relies heavily on mysteries and plot twists, I definitely don't want to give any spoilers because I believe that would take away from the experience any potential readers would have. This one is definitely shorter than the last review. mostly due to lack of complaints and the fact that I actually care enough about the story not to give any spoilers. I hope you enjoyed this video, because the next one will be my tier finale of my little trilogy. Catch you next time. Ciao.